मी आपल्या सर्वांच्या वतीने श्री राहुल बजाज यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आपले विचार आपल्या समोर मांडा.
My friends, colleagues, senior colleagues on this dais, ladies and gentlemen, we all know we have been gathered here. We've gathered here today to celebrate achievement. An achievement is the basis of all progress. We need to encourage it and obviously to celebrate it. So I'm very happy to be here this evening, and I congratulate each and everyone who has been recognized today, awarded today. From what I could see and hear, each of them a very deserving awardee. And I, of course, congratulate the Maxell Foundation and Shri Nitin Poddar, who has, I can't claim to have known him for long, but who has now become a friend. There has been a sea change in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the world and in our country. What matters, luckily for everyone, is innovation. We have heard about it from everyone, including, of course, Professor Mashelkar. What matters is innovation and competence, and not just money. Overall, this is a very welcome development for everyone, but especially, if I may say so, for the Marathi Manus, who has generally been a cerebral creature. Maharashtrians and achievement are no strangers to each other. But I'm not so sure about Maharashtrians and businesses. They've not really gelled. This is changing. Changes in the world are propitious for this to happen. You know, disruptive technology and all that we have heard today. The social norms of Maharashtra and their emphasis on learning and creativity provide a very sound base for this in the new economy that is upon us. Of course, with a little encouragement from Maxell Awards. Even now, 2 decades after the liberalization of 1991, in my view, the relationship between business and society in our country is not good. This applies to most countries in the world, but I'm talking about my country, our country. And this is not good for business. Business, of course, has been sinned against, but business has also sinned. The NPAs of banks and their willful defaulters, accounts, illegal accounts, holding black money in Switzerland, in Panama, in many other places, do not create a good impression about businessmen. And I believe that for a nation to progress, it is important that its business prospers. But for the business to prosper, business must ensure that the society, the citizenry, sees business as furthering the needs and objectives and desires of the society. This mutuality and interdependence are very important. And the onus of building and sustaining it primarily, in my view, lies with business. So this requires a functioning state, as I said, providing a good quality education and health facilities to its citizens, apart, of course, many other things like maintenance of law and order, etc. From this generally brief but broad survey, we can see that in our country, both businesses and government are not playing their proper roles. The government is not providing the necessary social infrastructure, not adequately, and business is not fully appreciating its social responsibilities. I will, for this evening's talk, keep the government and what it should do aside. That's the talk for next year or year after next if I come here again. What should, however, business do? It should perform, first of all, its basic job, to do business successfully, honestly, with integrity. And it should mend its ways wherever it's going astray. And also, it should pitch in to plug the gaps in the social sector. Can't do enough, We can't do anywhere near what is required to be done. We don't have the resources. But to the extent possible, the private sector must pitch in and fill in the gaps which exist in education and health. Business, friends, creates wealth and employment on sustainable basis. This creates the tax base, tax revenue, which in turn creates public goods and services. Business provides higher incomes and productivity. It provides opportunities for social mobility, breaks down caste barriers, and puts a premium on education. In our country, like in many other countries, I believe only growth can relieve poverty. The government became my baap, arrogated a lot of power to itself. The concomitant license permit Raj bred corruption, exorbitant and wasteful taxation, and an atmosphere where business was too busy dealing with these hurdles rather than concentrating on its core business. It lost its connection with society and started indulging, there's no justification for this, but it started indulging in wrong practices. Perhaps if the well-off act in the manner that we acted in pre-British days, at that era, then maybe we will have better legitimacy in society, but how to do that, I have no answers. Indian society and industry stand at a rare cusp of history. It is our obligation, all of us, each of us, it's our obligation to fulfill our potential. You know, India, everybody has said for the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years, India has tremendous potential. When will we achieve it? Government? We elect the government. If we got a bad government or a wrong government, we are responsible. I voted in every parliament election and most assembly elections. So if we got a wrong government, how can I keep cursing the government? We have to do something. Each man has to count. Not say, "Main akele kya karunga." One man can do a great deal. So we have to fulfill our potential and bring prosperity to our great land and our great people. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, and thank you very much.